Okay, I'm looking for an app that I can use offline that I can import coordinates to pin a location and that will show me my live location using the GPS. Can Land Nav do that? So I got this question and I thought I would use it as this video to create the kind of demo a lot of that, because it includes a number of features that kind of highlight exactly what Land Nav was built for. So to demo this, I'm going to pretend that we want to visit a plane crash site off the coast of Vancouver Island in Western Canada. So you can find more of info on Atlas Obscura. It has like a whole article about it with some pictures. But more importantly, it has a coordinate down here that we can use to find the location. So when you launch Land Nav the first time, it's going to ask you for permissions to use your location. This is needed so we can show you your location on the map. You should use the option allow while using the app, but if you don't trust it and you want to try out, or for any apps, you can try allow once. That will make it ask you the next time you do it. Make sure the precise is set to on. Again, it doesn't work very well if it doesn't have your precise location. You don't need to do this, but you'll miss out on a ton of features. So once you do that, Land Nav will open up to the basic map. There's a blue dot where you're located. If you tap on the location button on the top right, it'll zoom in on your location. You can use the zoom in markers to bring yourself closer. So we're on this beach called Radar Beaches. We know the plane crash is around here based on the article that we're reading, but we don't know where it is. To position the map center where at a specific coordinate, we can go up here in the action menu and click on map center. This brings up a small panel that lets us use the go to action. So if we tap go to, this will bring up a coordinate editor. Now Land Nav understands a lot of different coordinate formats, and you can show some example formats. What the coordinate it's showing right now is the map center coordinate. So what we actually want to do is change this. So you can just type in a new coordinate, you can copy and paste. If you want to use it in different formats, it's useful to like tap on one of these coordinate formats that kind of matches the one that you want to enter, and then edit all the little details. And now if we go into here, we can clear it and paste it. When you first paste from a new app, you have to allow that permission. So we'll allow paste, that puts in the coordinate. If we click go to, the map will have now scrolled over to that specific coordinate. We could show the current coordinate on the map either by expanding this tab up here for map center to see the map center. You can also turn it on in settings. There's a show coordinate and show elevation, which might be useful to turn on for this case. But before we move the map, we kind of want to save this coordinate that we entered. So we can click mark, and that will now place a pin. And it's interesting, right? Because the map is actually showing the Canso bomber, which is actually our location. It's actually not in the same location that the Atlas Obscura. So I suspect what's happened here is that the crash site is spread over a larger area. But the cool thing here is that Land Nav is using Mapbox Maps, which uses the OpenStreetMap data. And OpenStreetMap is a project much like Wikipedia, in which allows anybody to edit this global map. And because of that, you end up with a lot of obscure points of interest and trails that you just do not find on Google or Apple Maps, and makes when you use Land Nav for like hiking and off-trail navigation just really, really useful because of all this detail. So if we wanted to navigate our way to this location, I think I'd probably go up this trail from the beach, and then you can see the contour lines show that there's a bit of a hill between the two. So it's not a very big hill, and you can kind of check it out in 3D mode to see that it's pretty flat, but there's still a hill, and there's no point in kind of going over that, because even a small hill when you're off trail navigating can be a problem. So you probably want to like cross this creek and then work your way through the contour lines and kind of make your way down here. So if you hold on the map, you can push another and put another marker in here, right? And so the markers can be named and color coordinated and do whatever you want, but for now that's good enough. So, and then maybe like this would be our start position, right? So we would navigate ourselves to this point, make our way to this one, P102, and then finally to P101, which is the crash site. And if we went from that location, working towards that one marker, we'd come across the whole area of the crash site. Now, since LandNav knows where you are and knows where you want to go, you can use some of the navigation features in it. A useful thing to do sometimes is I need to get a bearing and a distance to the location. So we can tap on a point, and if we click navigate, that will then show us like the exact steps needed to go there. Now, if we were on the beach here and we were trying to get to our jumping off point, it means that we are 270 meters at 15 degrees north. So we would dial in our compass to 15 degrees north, walk 270 meters, and we'd reach that location. And so this is how you would do it. Like you reach this P103, then you would from once you reach P103, you would then navigate to P102, and you use a series of stepping stones to get you to your objective. Okay, so if you're often when you're navigating, you won't be in cell coverage, so you won't have the ability to download maps as you're using it. So in this case, you want to download the area that you're going to be in beforehand, and that's called like an offline map. So Land Nav supports that. If you go to settings, there's a section called offline maps. And so you can download map regions you want to use when your device is not connected to the internet. You can only download the topographical maps, not the satellite maps. But click new offline map. It kind of defaults to the map that you were looking at, and you can scale it and change to kind of cover a lot of the area. You have to choose a zoom level. 14 kind of corresponds to a 1 to 35,000 scale map, which is typically suitable for hiking. If you're in a smaller area, you could maybe go to 15. 16 is very high detail and uses a lot of memory. And if you zoom a bit further out, you can get a larger area, but you won't get the same level of detail. So I typically use 14. That will start downloading it. And you'll notice right here, it says it's like 36 of 750 tiles used. If you click learn more, you can learn a little bit about the limitations. So hopefully you'll find this video useful. You'll find LandNav useful. If you have any questions or feedback, I'd love to hear them.